Soviet Union invasion in Afghanistan 1979 and the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 were two major factors during the period of the Cold War. All right, so if you've been following along, we're discussing the Cold War here. To generalize, the war is basically communism versus capitalism. Okay, so Soviet Union invasion in Afghanistan 1979 and the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 were two major factors during the period of the Cold War. Now, all right, let's discuss this. Afghanistan 1979. So there's a Soviet invasion there, right? Why would you think the United States will get involved in this Middle Eastern country here, right? Well, they containment. All right, so Soviet Union wanted to expand communism, right? And the United States just simply couldn't do that. They wanted everyone to practice in the free trade market, right? So then you have Soviet Union invading Afghanistan. United States kind of felt obligated to help Afghanistan, right? All right, now we have the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. So why was this a big factor here? Well, so some politicians they say, hey, look, listen, that could have been another World War III, right? Why? There should be no enemies in your border, and that's kind of one idea that the United States kind of state has strict obligations to, right? Since probably like the 1800s, yeah, definitely the 1800s with the Monroe Doctrine. So no enemies, all right? We don't need any enemies by us, right? And so we saw Cuba um, becoming a communist pawn. Getting funded missiles by Russia, homing Russian soldiers, allowing Soviet unions to come and create military bases. We had to put a stop to that, right? And so these were two major factors during the period of the Cold War. All right, the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 and Afghanistan 1979. So we're going to go more over wars in the Middle East when we talk about irregular warfare. And we're also going to discuss a few, we'll say, prerequisites to what led up to the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? Because United States involvement in Guatemala and Panama kind of catalyzed the Cuban Missile Crisis a few years prior to 1962. So as we go along, you'll understand why.